Stugotz here for Indochino. Guys, by now you should know that made-to-measure suits fit better compared to generic off-the-rack suits. Every man looks better, feels more confident when he puts on a custom-fit suit. Indochino is the world's most exciting made-to-measure menswear company. Here's how it works. I love it. Visit a stylist at our showroom and have them take your measurements personally, or measure at home yourself and shop online at Indochino.com. Choose your fabric inside and out. Choose your design customizations. Submit your measurements with your choices. Then relax while your suit gets professionally tailored and mailed to you in a couple of weeks. And did you know Indochino is expanding into casual clothing and made-to-measure chinos? That's right. Your made-to-measure chinos will quickly become your go-to pant, pairing as easily with a suit jacket as they do with a sweater. And they'll be good any time of year for any occasion, from boardroom meetings to Sunday brunches. Indochinos start at an introductory price of $79. This week, our listeners can get any premium Indochino suit for just $359 at Indochino.com when entering Batard at checkout. That's 50% off the regular price for a made-to-measure premium suit. That's a great deal. Plus, shipping is free. It just got better. That's Indochino.com, promo code LeBatard for any premium suit for just $359 and free shipping. Incredible deal for a premium made-to-measure suit.
Brought to you by Scott's. Your lawn took a beating this summer, but with one more feeding this fall with Scott's Turf Builder Winter Guard, your grass will be greener, stronger, and more resilient both now and next spring. It's the perfect time. Pick up a bag today.
This is the Dan Le Batard Show with the Stugotz podcast. It is time to wake and take with Stugotz. 786-456-4837. That's 786-456-4837. Stu wants to hear from you. 786-456-4837. What's on your mind? 786-456-4837. Have a question for Stu? 786-456-4837. He's taking notes. 786-456-4837. But it is up to you to get them out of him. 786-456-4837. Call now. 786-456-4837. That's 786-456-4837.
It is Wake and Take here on ESPN Radio. I have notes, I have thoughts, I have opinions. I could open up this microphone and share those notes, thoughts, opinions with you, but that would be lazy. It is your job to get them out of me. Got to ask the right questions. 786-456-4837. That is 786-456-4837. It is Wake and Take here on ESPN Radio. Again, I got tons of notes. I mean, tons. I have tons of thoughts. I have tons of opinions. I'm not going to give them to you, though, unless you ask the right questions of me. That's how we do it here on Wake and Take on ESPN Radio. And in case you missed that phone number, in the open, or the 4 times I've given it already, it is 786-456-4837. Ask whatever you want. But first, we interview Mike Ryan.
Hey, Stu, you good?
I'm good. You good?
I'm good, Roy. You good?
I'm good. Chris, you good?
I'm good. Dan, you good?
I'm good. Billy, you good?
I'm good.
Allison, you good?
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 Where's Allison?
Allison, you good?
Where is she?
Allison, you good?
She's good. Thumbs up.
She's good. All right, she's good. Mike, I did my power rankings. It is Trey Wingo's birthday. He turned 75 today. And I left a voicemail. He's my favorite Trey. He's my favorite Wingo. I left him a voicemail this morning with my power ranking. I went from 1 to 6 plus a bonus. I had a 3-way tie for 7th between the Vikings, the Packers, and the Browns.
It's absurd.
It's not absurd. They played the Steelers to a tie. Then they went into a very difficult environment down in New Orleans and played the Saints, and they should have won that game. Now, they lost, but I think they're going to get their first win this Thursday against my New York Jets. 1-1-1. I have the Browns 7th in my power rankings. How about that?
I think this is the first time that they're favored since a game against San Francisco that might have been in 2015. Man, I don't know what to do with this because I don't know how this team responds as a favorite. I really don't. Primetime lights. This is an exciting game. When the schedule makers put this one out there, this seemed, oh man, another crappy Thursday night football game that's not even making it to network television. It's just a NFL Network exclusive.
It's
but now
still a really crappy Thursday night football game.
The eyes of the world descend upon the dog pound.
It is a really crappy Thursday night
It seems
game.
like the Browns and Jets, and Guillermo, put this on the poll. Do the Browns and Jets play week 3 every year?
What a terrible poll question.
I look last year's schedule. I guarantee you the Jets play the Browns somewhere within the first 3 weeks of the schedule. Guarantee it.
Okay, what?
And I think the year before that. I'm going to check right now.
Well, now it's the
Why
first
would
3
you
weeks.
check that?
That's an important thing to check. I don't know why they get the Browns every year. I don't know.
2 years ago, I think they opened at MetLife Stadium. We do play the Jets a lot. You know why? Because we're both always finishing in last place, and that's how scheduling works.
I mean, week 5, Browns. The Jets had a big 17-14 win last year.
You said week 3.
It felt like week 3. They started 0-2. I didn't count those weeks.
It's not bad enough that the analysis is fundamentally useless, but as an added bonus, it's inaccurate.
Yeah. Fit in here, Dan.
Fit in.
Wake and take. It's a no judgment zone. Yeah.
You're fitting out right now.
Yeah.
Fit in.
No judgment zone. But, Mike, you told me before the game you felt like your Cleveland Browns were going to win here.
I have a feeling.
There you go.
I got a feeling.
All right.
The Cleveland Browns are going to be 1-1-1 after Thursday night.
I like that feeling. Let's take some calls here, Dana. Who do we have on the line? You pull up the calls, Dana.
Anybody? You got, okay, Jabari, you're on with Stugotz on Wake and Take. Go ahead, Jabari.
Hey, tell me what's your thoughts on Ben Roethlisberger and the Steelers and not performing well. I need your take. I need your hot take, Stugotz.
All right. You know, it's funny. I happen to have notes on that and thoughts, so that's a good one. Listen, this has nothing to do with Ben Roethlisberger. Ben Roethlisberger's been fine. I think most teams, with the exception of maybe 2 or 3, would still take Ben Roethlisberger as their quarterback right now.
2 or 3.
I mean, and he hasn't been fine. He had 5 interceptions in the first game. That's not fine.
Did you see him against the Chiefs? I mean, he was throwing it, flinging the pill all over the field, and he ran for a touchdown. I mean, how about that? When's the last time Ben ran for a touchdown? So I would say that 90% of the NFL teams would take Ben Roethlisberger right now as their starting quarterback. You disagree with that?
You said 2 or 3, and I think that Ben Roethlisberger at this point in his career is on the cusp of, it's not just decline, it's coming, he's going to be upon washed soon. Like,
really?
He hasn't taken care of himself in a way that would make him good into his late 30s.
You're fitting out again.
By not agreeing with you?
Yep.
Okay, very good.
Everyone's supposed to agree with me during Wake and Take on ESPN Radio. Roethlisberger, now, he got off to a terrible start, but he has 4 touchdowns and 3 interceptions. I mean, what he did against the Chiefs was vintage Ben. The defense is the problem in Pittsburgh. That is, and the kicking game. As Mike Tomlin pointed out, they're not kicking at a varsity level. Let's take another call. What do we have here, Dan?
Jake, you're on with Stugotz on Wake and Take. Go ahead, Jake.
Hey, Stu, can you give us your power rankings of Pat Mahomes, Carson Wentz, and Deshaun Watson? Thanks.
It's funny. I did this last night. Mahomes, Wentz, and Watson. So I'm going to go 1 up till 3, 3 being the best. Okay, Carson Wentz is number 1. Deshaun Watson, who I have serious questions about now, he is number 2. And number 3 is Patrick Mahomes.
I don't understand this order at all.
I like to go from 1 to 3, 1 being the worst.
But you don't have serious questions about Carson Wentz, who you have as the worst. You have serious questions about Deshaun Watson, who's ranked 2nd.
This is Wake and Take, Mike. You're fitting out now.
I'm sorry.
So with Carson Wentz, the problem is...
Can I ask what the serious questions that you have are about Deshaun?
So with Carson Wentz, my concerns with him are the injuries. With Deshaun Watson, I am also concerned with the injuries, but I'm also concerned with the surrounding talent. You don't have a running game. No running game. I mean, they're still trotting out Lamar Miller. Deshaun Watson needs more than that. And Alfred Blue. He's still roaming around the league.
So you have Pat Mahomes third, which is the best.
The best, yes. Yes.
The guy that you dared Andy Reid to start ahead of Alex Smith.
You're fitting out. Good job fitting in, Mike. Patrick Hall of Fame. Let's take another call here.
Keep putting a C in his name. There's no C.
I don't think I did it that time. Hall of Fame, I said.
There we go.
Yeah, Hall of Fame.
Gage, you're on with Stugotz on Wake and Take on ESPN Radio. Go ahead, Gage.
Hey, Stu. Do you think Sean McVay is still the most handsome coach in the league? And
sorry.
That's a good question. Rasham. Do I think Sean McVay is still the best coach? I got to tell you, McVay, they don't have a weakness. I dare you to find a weakness on that team. McVay, when he's undefeated, man, he's good looking. Now, I haven't seen McVay when he's, 2-14. He probably isn't as good looking at 2-14 as he is at
He looks more
2-0.
like Ben McAdoo at 2-14.
Exactly right. Exactly right. So, yes, for right now, because the team is good, he is still the best looking coach in the NFL. Let's take another call, Dana.
Doug, you're on with Stugotz on Wake and Take. Go ahead, Doug.
What's happening, guys? How do you guys feel about the Patriots losing? And also, who do you guys think is better, Bill Belichick or McVay?
I don't think they get how Wake and Take works. The national audience doesn't get how Wake and Take works. I mean, get out of here with that question. What the hell was that question?
What's wrong with that question? That's a good question. You're fitting out again. I have notes, I have thoughts, I have opinions on that. Belichick is still the greatest coach in the NFL. Sean McVay is a very, very close second for now, okay? But Belichick is number one.
Well, no, he's number 3.
Right, he's number 3, right. Well, let's do it this way. Power rankings, I'll work my way up to 2.
Totempoll.com.
Yep. McVay is 1, Bill Belichick is number 2. He's the second best coach in my power rankings in the NFL, which means he's the best. How about that?
Vic, you're on Wake and Take with Stugotz on ESPN Radio. Go ahead, Vic.
Hey, so I have a question about dinner.
Yeah.
I'm trying to figure out what I'm doing for dinner. Don't know what to do. But I hear you have a lot of experience with dinner, and you have a lot of experience with your wife. So what should I do for dinner? My options are turkey,
right,
chicken, or pork.
Turkey, chicken, pork?
Power rankings.
How are we serving the turkey?
Very important question.
Turkey, it can go either way. So turkey, I'm thinking about just doing something simple, putting it in an oven, but I'm not sure. I need some suggestions.
Okay, very good.
All right, here we go. I have my power rankings of dinners, okay? Number 3, at least of the items that she had.
Be careful.
Oh, yeah, wait a second. Number 3. This is my dinner power rankings.
I know, but
what
is the top of the power rankings? Is it 3 or
when
is
it comes to food, it's inverted. We go the other way.
Okay, really?
Football players, quarterbacks, coaches, we go up, and food, we go down. Fit in dip. It's a staple here on Wake and Take.
I'm sorry.
So I'm just going to work within the 3 that you gave me, okay? Number 3, turkey. Get out of here. I mean, November, turkey, that's it. Then the turkey goes away for a year. That's it.
Here, I'm going to put it on the poll. November, turkey, that's it. Yes or no?
Late November.
Go away. Yeah,
Late
November.
Late November, then it goes away. The only turkey you have between late November and then the next late November is the sliced boar's head turkey at Publix. That's it. Deli sandwich.
Most of the country doesn't have Publix.
Well, that's their problem. Their local supermarket. I don't know. I mean, they're fitting out the rest of the country. Number 2, pork. And as you know, number 2 is my worst. So pork at number 2, and then number 1. It's not even close. Chicken. Fried, grilled, doesn't matter. Barbecued. Chicken, number 1.
Don Le Batard.
Dwayne Wade's a 36-year-old man and would whoop up on any of us with relative ease.
And I got a feeling that one of us could take Dwayne Wade.
There's no combination of 2 of us that could take Dwayne Wade.
I cannot take Dwayne Wade. Maybe.
Mike and Roy are the
I
nominees.
cannot take Dwayne Wade. Are you insane?
Roy, do you feel like you could take Dwayne Wade to the woodshed?
Not to the woodshed. No, absolutely not. Stugotz.
We are fighting Dwayne Wade.
No rules.
We are fighting Dwayne Wade.
I could beat him at Yahtzee, for sure.
At Yahtzee?
Oh, yeah, I'm good at Yahtzee.
I'll beat him at putt-putt.
I'll beat him at Uno.
I'll beat him at basketball.
This is the Don Le Batard Show with the Stugotz on ESPN Radio. And now, Back to Wake and Take with Stugotz. What? 786-456-4837. That's 786-456-4837. Stu wants to hear from you. 786-456-4837. What's on your mind? 786-456-4837. Have a question for Stu? 786-456-4837. He's taking notes. 786-456-4837. But it is up to you to get them out of him. 786-456-4837. Call now. 786-456-4837. That's 786-456-4837.
Fitting out. That's a fun. It is Wake and Take here on ESPN Radio. I have notes. I have thoughts. I have opinions. I could simply open up my microphone and deliver those thoughts, opinions, and notes to you.
The segment's almost over.
But that would be lazy. And that's not how we do it here on Wake and Take on ESPN Radio. You do the work for me. Ask the right questions. How about that? 786-456-4837. That is 786-456-4837. Quickly to the polls here, and then we'll get to calls. Early results, Dan. At Batard Show on Twitter. Do the Jets play the Browns every week 3, every season? 86% of the audience said yes. Even though they played week 5 last year, and I told the audience that.
And week 1 the year
They
before.
still agree with me.
Okay. Yeah, of course.
That's how you fit in.
Yeah.
To the 14% of you who said no, go to hell. And make sure you say hi to Art Briles when you get there. Because you're fit now. Go second call.
Yes, sir. Carl, you're on Wake and Take with Stugotz on ESPN Radio.
Hey, Stu. How much longer is Chip Kelly going to be a thing?
I think he's no longer a thing. They're 0-3. Like Chip Kelly, that's a perfect example of a guy who's not, he's not terribly good looking, but when he was at Oregon, he was really good looking at Oregon, and he isn't at UCLA. It's amazing. So I think Chip Kelly being a thing is done, and it was done after a couple of games of him coaching with the Eagles.
Guillermo, put it on the poll. Is Chip Kelly a thing? Is Chip Kelly a thing?
That's a good question. Rash him. Let's take one more call.
Zach, you're on with Stugotz on Wake and Take. Go ahead, Zach.
Hi, Stu. I just wanted to ask, I wanted to see your thoughts on J.J. Watt's start to the season.
Well, has it started yet? Does he have a tackle, a sack, anything? Do they have a win? Bill O'Brien, hot seat. J.J. Watt, since September 2016.
Wait a minute.
Here are the number of people who have as many sacks as J.J. Watt.
Wait a minute.
Everyone. You're cutting me off.
That was like take Tourette's, though, from you, what you just did there in the middle of there. Bill O'Brien, hot seat, bada bing.
Texans got a must win, or else Bill O'Brien. I hope he still has a very good relationship with Bill Belichick, because I am telling you right now, he's going to need a job soon. Yep. And Deshaun Watson, bust. Flash in the pan.
Those are two different things.
Remember, I ranked him number 2, Dan. That's not good on my list. It might be on other lists, that's pretty good. But I ranked him 2 on my list, not good. Not the worst, but also not the best. And I think last year he was trending after that Seattle game. Remember me, Mike came on and said he's going to be the best quarterback ever. I said that. Mike didn't say that, but I did. And he has gone the other way. He's regressed. Rash him. Stick one more here.
Rash me, I think is what you wanted to say there. Rash me.
You agree on Bill O'Brien, though, right?
But Bill O'Brien, hot seat. I agree you have take Tourette's. Like, you snuck that in there. You are a wizard and a magician. Glenn, you're on with Stugotz on Wake and Take on ESPN Radio.
Hey, good morning, guys. Hey, Stu, I want to know, because I know you have notes on it, what the best wing sauce is to eat enough of to make me pass out while I'm suffering through a Jets-Browns game.
All right, I do have notes on that. I always have notes on that. My favorite wing sauce. Actually, you know what? I'll give my power rankings. But first, let's go around the room. Back, Chris, favorite wing sauce?
Mayong wing sauce.
Wow.
It's like a teriyaki mix.
That's good. That's a good choice.
Wow. Guillermo?
I have a weak tummy, so I just go mild.
Of course.
Sorry.
Of course. You're the blandest person in the world.
Roy, what do you got?
It's a tie between barbecue and teriyaki.
No tie. No tie. Pick one.
No ties. This is America.
Come on. What's the matter, you communist?
What does that mean? There's ties every week in football.
Yeah.
Good point.
They're also communists.
It's a tie. Barbecue, teriyaki.
Are ties communists? Put it on the poll.
Good question. Fitting in. Mike, wing sauce?
Honey garlic.
Oh, wow. Dano?
Garlic parmesan.
Well, I have my power rankings here. I have 4. I agree with you, by the way, Dan. I am going to sauces are different. Quarterbacks and coaches, we work from 1 and then we go up. Okay? Different than dinners where we start, traditional list.
You're destroying the clock.
Sauce, we just go all over the place. Okay?
This segment has to go long.
Listen, 2 is number 1, just so you know. Okay? 4 is number 2. 3 is number 4. And 1 is number 1.
You just confused yourself.
And
you surprised yourself that you got it all right at the end.
2 is number 1. 1 is number 2. Oh, yeah, 1 is number 2. Okay. 4 is number 2. So anyway, I'm with you on garlic parmesan. That is number 4, which is really number 3. Okay? Then I have teriyaki, which is number 3, but really number 1. Then I have straight barbecue sauce.
No, you're not making any sense
now. That is number 2, which is really number 1. And then I have honey barbecue, which is number 1, but really number 2, which means that's my favorite. How about that?
Payday! Payday! It is payday!
Tied it all together.
Did you?
I think so.
I don't think you tied it all together. I think you saw a rope, it needed tying, and you pooped on it. I think is what happened.
Honey barbecue, though, man.
Don Le Batard.
Do you refer to the yellow sauce at a hibachi restaurant as yum yum sauce? 57% of the audience said no.
Stugotz.
Do you go ginger, yum yum, yum yum, yum yum, yum yum, yum yum, or yum yum, yum yum, yum yum, yum yum? 38% of the audience said yum yum, yum yum, yum yum. So they get 3 yum yum sauces. They ditch the ginger, get 2 yum yums with an additional yum yum. Second place was ginger yum yum. That Chris said earlier, no one goes ginger. 18% of the audience goes ginger. And 18% of the audience also goes yum yum, yum yum. About that.
This is the Dan Le Batard Show with the Stugotz on ESPN Radio.
I have a shameful admission to make. It's taken me until Wednesday of this week to get here. I've been hiding a bit of a secret from you in terms of an ignorance that I have been disguising. I'm not comfortable making this admission, but here we go. Patrick Mahomes, the name. Just Patrick Mahomes. A lot of things are conspiring to make this my particular confusion. And this is just dead honest. I don't know if it's happening to you. Patrick Mahomes, that name by itself, I don't think that's a black person. Now, this is Reggie Cleveland All-Stars. This is Bill Simmons, what he has talked about, white guys who sound like they're black guys, or like Khalil Green, the shortstop for the Padres. I was stunned to see he was a surfer and not a black dude. Khalil Green, the shortstop for the Padres. And Patrick Mahomes, the name by itself, if I don't tell you, you've got football helmets. Most of the new guys, you don't know what they look like. Now, we've been watching, many of us, Patrick Mahomes since he was in college, throwing the ball all over the place. But wearing the helmet, I couldn't and can't be sure with that name whether he's white or black before I've seen him without the helmet off. Now, play the sound of Patrick Mahomes, because I don't think we've ever had something quite like this. Derek Jeter was a biracial angel, and we had trouble, and we tried to classify Tiger Woods, and he said he was told Oprah he was Caucasian or something like that. He said something. Patrick Mahomes, this name, Mike, you're crossing your arms at me. I said it was a shameful admission. Patrick Mahomes, when I put this voice on Patrick Mahomes is what?
I did. I overthrew Tyreek, which I didn't know was possible. So, but he took off and he was gone. If I hit him in stride, it was a 99-yarder.
Sports radio host in the South. I mean,
and 50 years old, right? 50 sports radio host in the South.
Here's what's hurting your cause, right?
What's my cause?
Well, your cause of not knowing the sort of name that leads to this sort of racial ambiguity crisis that you're undergoing with Pat Mahomes. There was already a Pat Mahomes. He was a pitcher in Major League Baseball.
Further confusing thing.
Who was his dad, who was a black pitcher in the league. Mm-hmm. So me growing up, Pat Mahomes, that's a black pitcher. So I see a Pat Mahomes playing quarterback. My only frame of reference is the other Pat Mahomes that I've known. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Right. Okay, but that I don't think is the way most people are experiencing that. I'm glad. Was he a Twins reliever? I'm glad that you're
for a while too.
I mean, yes. Some of us in the audience hear the name Pat Mahomes and we say yes, 90s middle reliever. But most people don't. Most people say guy who's thrown more touchdown passes than anyone in the history of the sport through 2 games.
Understood, but you've got a frame of reference.
What I'm telling you is I believe that my particular stumbling around is justifiable. When you take this confluence of events, the name, the fact that he sounds like that Mike,
they show him a lot. He scores a lot of touchdowns.
Mike?
No.
Play this, Mike, play the sound again and entitle me to my confusion. Yes or no, America? Is this a black man?
I did. I overthrew Tyreek, which I didn't know was possible. So, but he took off and he was gone. If I hit him in stride, it was a 99-yarder.
It's always about race with you, man.
Let's go. My private jet isn't going to fuel itself.
Roy, what are you covering your face for? In shame.
Why me? Why me, Dan? Why are you asking me?
Dan Le Batard.
Limited fake Tim Kirkchen. What do the Royals have to do to make the playoffs?
Stugotz.
Dan, the Royals are really good.
This is the Dan Le Batard Show with the Stugotz on ESPN Radio.
Sonny Gray. What'd you think Sonny Gray was before you? Because the Oakland A's baseball takes a minute to sort of drift toward the east. When I thought Sonny Gray was mowing people down, I was pretty damn sure that was a black person doing that.
Still doing this, huh?
Man, I'll help you out. Kenny G?
Thank you for helping me out. I appreciate not being on this island alone anymore. Trot Nixon, before you saw him play. Like, Bill Simmons was doing this for years. What are you doing? What are you doing?
I don't like being on this island. I'm getting off the island.
How about Cocoa Crisp? What do you think?
That's just a cereal.
I don't know if you're playing the game.
Okay.
Why is everyone so afraid of this game? I don't understand. Are we not allowed? We were allowed to play Reggie Cleveland All-Stars 10 years ago, but everything has changed too much in 2018. We're allowed to do this with Bill Simmons 10 years ago, but not anymore. Now it's something you're all scared of.
Ryan Howard.
Thank you.
Good one.
Thank you for your help. There's a bomb hitting first baseman for the Phillies. His name is Ryan Howard. He looks like what? It's not black. You're right.
Former. Fine.
I don't understand the finding system around here anymore. It's anytime I get anything wrong, you leap in with both feet and a flying drop kick, both the feet right in my chest. You just exist to find me, and you're finding me for things that aren't fines. Like, are you going to stop that at any point? It's just every time I make a mistake, it's like a doctor hitting you on the knee and making your knee or your foot kick out.
You came up with the fine system, man.
But that's not a fine is what I'm saying. I came up with a fine system. My making a mistake is not a fine.
Okay, sorry. I mean, it's hard to keep track with all the changes, all the fines that we have in place. But you're right. I'm sorry. I won't do it again. $5.
So Michael Smith is going to be in studio with us at noon. He and Domonique Foxworth do not agree on this Vontae Davis situation. We're going to pit them against each other. Will Kane's got an opinion on this as well, as everyone is pitted against each other. Guillermo, what are you smiling about?
It's my favorite Will Kane sound that we've played yet.
What?
I love this Will Kane sound.
No. This is your favorite? Yeah, you want to be careful about that. You want to underpromise and overdeliver. You're saying this is the favorite sound that we've ever played of Will Kane, who does his show while strumming an air guitar.
I'm gonna walk it back. This sounds okay. It's up there, not the best. You know what? It's bad. I don't like it anymore.
All right, so here is Will Kane as everyone. Vontae Davis quit his job at halftime for the Buffalo Bills, a team that nobody cares about, a team that went 17 years without making the playoffs and then backed in last year and then decided to get rid of that quarterback. Buffalo Bills football is dead in every way until we could throw it into the maw of the content machine because a cornerback you didn't even know was in Buffalo quit in the second game of the season. What was Will Kane's opinion?
I'm blown away by how many people on social media, how many people with microphones, how many people on this network thought that's over the top. That's not right. You know what Vontae Davis quitting on his teammates at halftime is? You know what that is? That's LOL. That's funny. Everybody wants to quit. You know what it is? What are we doing celebrating people failing to live up to a minimum bar of responsibility when getting paid millions of dollars? Explain to me why that's LOL, why that's laughable. Explain to me how Vontae Davis, not retiring, can we be real for a moment? He didn't retire at halftime. You know what he did? It's a different word. It's a 4-letter word. He didn't retire. He quit. Don't manipulate language. Say it the way it is. He quit. I'm sorry. I can't LOL that. I can't celebrate that.
Guillermo, go ahead. $2. Get out of here.
Whoa.
Mike, go ahead and hit Will Kane with one of the greatest insults this show has.
Straw man.
Who's celebrating what Vontae Davis did? There's someone on our network celebrating this?
I don't know. Not that I'm aware of.
A guy quit for the Buffalo Bills, and we've cast down judgment on whether or not I think people are just laughing at the Bills there, aren't they?
Probably. Listen, I laughed at their expense. I said, what's the big deal? The rest of the team retired in the second quarter. So, I mean, I think people had some fun at the expense of the Buffalo Bills. Sure.
LOL.
Yeah. What? You didn't like that, huh?
I liked it the first 3 times you made the joke.
Right. Well, I have a feeling that you'll come around, Dan. And listen, I wanted to just kind of point out and lend a hand to what Will Kane was saying. That's all. That people are making fun of this. They are LOLing at it, and I was one of them. So.
I thought for sure you were going to hit me stop with the subtle digs, that you were going to go another Viking there. I thought for sure. How many Vikings do you want to do it with? Do you want to grab all of the Vikings? Do you want to see how many puns we can find in and around the Vikings now that we're on in Minneapolis? We're on all over. We could just start making Viking puns now. You Vike that. I have a Thielen.
I don't know. It's going to take me a Kyle. I'll see if I could cook something up. Wow! Stugotz here for Indochino. Guys, by now you should know that made-to-measure suits fit better compared to generic off-the-rack suits. Every man looks better, feels more confident when he puts on a custom-fit suit. Indochino is the world's most exciting made-to-measure menswear company. Here's how it works. I love it. Visit a stylist at our showroom and have them take your measurements personally, or measure at home yourself and shop online at Indochino.com. Choose your fabric inside and out. Choose your design customizations. Submit your measurements with your choices. Then relax while your suit gets professionally tailored and mailed to you in a couple of weeks. And did you know Indochino is expanding into casual clothing and made-to-measure chinos? That's right. Your made-to-measure chinos will quickly become your go-to pant, pairing as easily with a suit jacket as they do with a sweater. And they'll be good any time of year for any occasion, from boardroom meetings to Sunday brunches. Indochinos start at an introductory price of $79. This week, our listeners can get any premium Indochino suit for just $359 at Indochino.com when entering Le Batard at checkout. That's 50% off the regular price for a made-to-measure premium suit. That's a great deal. Plus, shipping is free. It just got better. That's Indochino.com, promo code LeBatard for any premium suit for just $359 and free shipping. Incredible deal for a premium made-to-measure suit.
Brought to you by Scott's. Your lawn took a beating this summer, but with one more feeding this fall with Scott's Turf Builder Winter Guard, your grass will be greener, stronger, and more resilient both now and next spring. It's the perfect time. Pick up a bag today.
Don Lebatard.
He is now eating it out of my hand like a grazing animal of some sort. Oh, he is showing love. Oh, eat the picture. Yes.
Swallow.
No, he's not going to swallow that.
Stugotz.
What just happened there?
I finished.
You just threw out a slobbered piece of my face on the floor.
That was just a slobbered piece.
I got a weak stomach, man.
Tear me off half of that, Stu. I want to get involved.
Oh, no.
There's no way you're going to do
kidding.
It. The fact that you're holding it.
I think I'm kidding. I'm not kidding. If he eats that piece of
I already ate the piece of
If he eats it, I will vomit.
This is the Don Lebatard Show with the Stugotz on ESPN Radio.
This texting terrorist has used technology to file this threat away, made public using digital communication to text us, I will be changing the station at 11:30 Eastern. That is how much that person hates the football analysis of Mina Kimes. So you have been heard, sir. Thank you for warning us. And really, it's okay that you threatened us because we understand why it is you would feel the need to inform us that you're going to leave in a half hour.
That person needs to simmer down.
So another texter writes in that Patrick Mahomes sounds a bit like Dennis Rodman, and I don't believe that that's accurate, but let's just check in again with Patrick Mahomes. He does not sound how he looks. He does not sound like an NFL quarterback of any kind. I don't know what he sounds like, but it's not what he's been doing in the NFL recently.
I did. I overthrew Tyreek, which I didn't know was possible. So, but he took off and he was gone. If I hit him in stride, it was a 99-yarder.
And so someone is alleging that sounds a bit like Dennis Rodman. But, Mike, are they talking about the Dennis Rodman CNN interview about North Korea where Dennis Rodman was just muttering and mumbling?
I'm just saying, no, I don't give a rat's what the hell you think. I'm saying to you, look at these guys here. Look at them.
Yeah, but Dennis, don't put it on them. Don't use them as an excuse for the behavior that you're putting on yourself.
They came here.
You just basically were saying that Kenneth Bay did something wrong. We don't even know what the charges are. Don't use these guys as a shield for you, Dennis.
Listen. Ain't no shield. I got it. Let me do this. Really, I'm going to tell you one thing. People around the world, I'm going to do one thing. You guy behind the mic right now, we are the guys here doing one thing. We have to go back to America and take the abuse. Do you have to take the abuse? Well, we're going to take it. Do you, sir? Let me know. Are you going to take that abuse? We're going to get it. But guess what, Joe? One day, this door is going to open.
That's something to ponder.
I mean, he really nailed that prediction. Did you see North and South Korea now considering a joint hosting of the Olympics? He nailed it.
I know people get mad at me at ESPN for perpetually giving ESPN public advice, like I'm a know-it-all gas bag that knows how to run the company. But what I am telling everyone at this network is you guys must go and find this Cuomo at CNN and hire him, because this man does a monster sports television interview. Whether he's interviewing Dennis Rodman.
He's hoarding all the good interviews.
Whether he is talking to, you distracted me. You went Leroy Horde there. You can't get any modern Vikings. Leroy Horde is what you went there? Horde.
Really rode this into the ground.
Let's listen to the Cuomo interview with LeVar Ball.
He know he got them shoes, and I tell you what, behind closed doors, I think he got them on his feet just dancing.
Are they?
And you know what song he's singing?
What song?
Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you.
That is not a real song.
That's what song he's singing.
That is not a song.
They just made one.
You made that up, and it is not a real song.
Hey, he got a new song. It's just for him.
Just want to be clear. You want no mas?
That didn't sound anything like Patrick Mahomes. It was just funny sound that we got to play from CNN. Again, Dennis Rodman talking to that Cuomo guy about North Korean political relations.
It had me over the moon.
Mike, do you have for me the Mike Zimmer sound of him just having no tolerance, no patience, no time for missed kicks in that sport? This is Mike Zimmer, who is just the brooding, grimacing face of football. Whether it's wearing an eye patch or not, it's just like he is frozen tundra. His face is a frozen tundra. Yes or no? Guillermo, put it on the poll. Is Mike Zimmer's face a frozen tundra? Let's listen to Mike Zimmer telling you why he, doesn't want a guy around anymore.
What went into the decision today to let Daniel Carlson go?
Did you see the game?
Okay. Was it an easy decision?
Yeah, pretty easy.
He doesn't care about his feelings. He doesn't have a cluey. You digs it? You feeling me? What's with the chilly look? Let's get a Randall on this.
Let's get a Randall on this.
What? Oh, my God. I'm upset.
I love how these coaches, is there anything in sports as disrespected as the kicker? Mike Zimmer would never talk that way about a player who matters. Like, he simply wouldn't. About a player whose feelings he would care about at all. Mike Zimmer probably hasn't waived another player in his entire life where he's been that dismissive of that guy losing his job.
He'd be his Farvit.
What?
Farvrit.
Did you not say favorite the way that you wanted to?
Zimmer down.
You did that one already. You did Zimmer down already. Are you out?
It's time to turn the page on this idea. I went all the way back to Alan Page. That's
Alan
right.
Page from the Purple People Eaters? What?
The man wants more money.
No one knows who Alan Page is.
No, that's not true. Minneapolis knows who he is. Didn't he become a judge? What do you mean nobody knows who Alan Page is? Do I have this right?
What's Zimmer's problem, man? They just got to Tice. Tice.
Do you even know the joke you were making there about a tie? Or were you even making
a joke? Draw.
Don Lebatard.
Metal nets have to be right up there with, like, ice skates as the most dangerous things that people do to play sports, right? Because you know that the people that are buying those metal nets are largely kids. And if they have a hoop that they lower, it's like at 7 feet tall, and they're just dunking on them. And you know the fingers are getting stuck in those nets.
Stugotz.
In track and field, the gun they shoot off, that's kind of dangerous now.
It's not an actual gun.
I don't think it's
a starter pistol. It doesn't shoot anything out.
I know it doesn't actually shoot a bullet. Nothing comes out of it?
No.
Just the sound.
Sound, yeah.
This is the Don Lebatard Show with the Stugotz on ESPN Radio.
New Patriots book is reporting that the Patriots, this is by Ian O'Connor, he is a very good reporter and writer, excellent, and he's reporting that the Patriots do not think of Tom Brady as the kind of special that the rest of us do. So that's always at the center of winning. Who gets the credit?
Right.
And in that particular marriage, the idea that he was ready to have a divorce from Bill Belichick at the end of 2017, that's where that has arrived with those two. And you've seen in Tom Brady's public behavior since that he's He's behaving like someone, he's never behaved like this. It's not particularly controversial, but he's showing himself to the public. He's hanging up on radio shows. He's laughing off questions in a press conference about his doctor. This has never been, Tom Brady spent damn near 15 years being a blank slate of boring professionalism that only showed emotion when he was yelling at his receivers.
Got tired of it. Got tired of it. And there are stories within Ian O'Connor's book. There are reports where Tom Brady was worried for years that Belichick, because he did it with everyone, was going to trade him before he wanted to go. And Tom, that absolutely affected Tom. And listen, he just got tired of it, right? That happens in a relationship, especially when one guy, it seems like, is getting a lion's share of the credit. Bill Belichick was getting that, I think.
When you hear, I think there was plenty of credit for both of them. I don't know why they would need to fight over the credit, but I do understand if Belichick actually thinks somewhere in his head, yeah, I could take a 6th-round pick and make him that. Did you see what I did with Matt Castle? Like, I'll figure out how to make him that if you give me 3 years with a guy, and I'm going to make sure Jimmy Garoppolo gets to be that somewhere else by making sure he gets sent to someone who's going to handle him with care and not let him get ruined the way that, David Carr was ruined, or his brother Derek might get ruined because now he's all about the 3-yard pass too.
But I do find that relationship interesting and who gets the credit. I do find that part interesting because for me, the quarterback should always get the credit. The quarterback normally gets the credit, but it's not a slam dunk in this case. It's just not.
But who cares? Once you've done that much.
Oh, I care about credit, man.
You understand what I'm saying though? Like, wouldn't you argue that the Patriots are not the team that cares about that?
You would have, yes. Up until recent reports, yes. You would think the Patriots didn't care about who gets the credit, but clearly they do.
Of all the silly things to ruin a dynasty relationship, of all the silly things, who gets more of the credit according to whom? Like, I understand that Tom Brady is looking at Belichick and saying, wait a minute, you really think that you could have made me out of anybody? Like, is that something that you really think? And, yeah, I could see how Belichick would arrive there because he found him late. Nobody wanted Tom Brady.
Right.
And now they're the most precise thing you've ever seen. But they're that kind of precise, at least in part, because Tom Brady's accuracy is ridiculous. He protects everybody. Subpar receivers, bad offensive lines. He protects everybody with an accuracy that is precise and faster than anyone's in the league in terms of judgment and reads.
That Matt Castle season really hurts Tom Brady's defense. It does. Like that one season.
Garoppolo played well when Brady was out too. Garoppolo played well. Like would you blame Bill Belichick if he thought that Tom Brady exists as Tom Brady only because of the genius of Bill Belichick? Would you blame him? If
I wouldn't blame him, I'd tell him he's wrong, but I wouldn't blame him.
But would you even understand? Let's do it this way. Would you understand? Because if you wouldn't blame him or judge him for it, if you were Bill Belichick and everyone is telling you you're the smartest to have ever done this, and you're laughing at everybody in the league by doing it specifically with garden gnomes at wide receiver. 1 year, you just used one of your defensive backs and won a Super Bowl with Troy Brown running around there. Like, you're laughing at the league. You might as well spend the whole game with 2 middle fingers up. Like, you're laughing at the league the way you're doing it. You're telling everybody, Vrabel, Bruschi, I'll make them. You only know Vrabel and Bruschi because I put them in front of you. I made them what they are. I'd understand why Belichick would be, both, an egomaniac and a megalomaniac. We've been telling him forever that he is all these things.
Right, but the one consistent thing around all of that, Detroit Browns, all the names you just named, is Tom Brady. That's it. He's the one thing that's been sitting there the entire time.
I understand, but now Bill Belichick could say, yes, the entire time, that's what's been sitting there. But you know what I got you, Tom, in your late 30s when no one's been allowed to age this way? I got you Randy Moss, and then I got you Gronkowski, and look, you just lost at Jacksonville. I just saw that Jacksonville has caught us. Now look what I got you. Now I got you Josh Gordon. Who's responsible for your success? I am.
But I think Brady can point to several seasons where he said, hey, I didn't have Josh Gordon. I have any of these guys, and I won you a Super Bowl.
I know, but what I'm saying to you is this. How does this dynastic thing that we know tumble over the idea that Tom Brady and Bill Belichick are doing first take? Like they're just going back and forth about each other. I'm not responsible. You're responsible. But I think you're responsible for this. I'm responsible for that.
But I think the thing, more so than the credit, is I think Tom's fear that that Belichick was going to trade him before he wanted to be traded, and Jimmy Garoppolo was going to be the new guy that Belichick was going to go win with. I think that's really where all this kind of fell apart for both guys.
Tom probably thinks to himself, wait, you got me Randy Moss, the same Randy Moss who had Kerry Collins and wasn't doing bleep in Oakland? Yeah, no, I turned him back into Randy Moss.
Correct.
You got me Wes Welker? Look what I turned Wes Welker into.
But Belichick would say our culture, my culture, what I've created here, turned him back into Randy Moss.
I ask you guys, this is the smartest, best thing in the NFL. Why are these two people arguing like it's Wednesday at 5:30 p.m. on ESPN? Like just arguing. Who's responsible for the credit?
I mean, that is what PTI is now, right?
Yes.
I got that right. I got that right first.
Wait a minute. They've been that for 7 years. That is Tony and Mike love doing the show where, I predicted that correctly yesterday.
Dan Le Batard.
What's the single most important thing the Eagles have to do to beat the Patriots?
Stugotz.
So get to Brady with 4 is what it sounded like. Put pressure on Brady.
We find out if Mina Kimes is still alive. Next.
This is the Dan Le Batard Show with the Stugotz on ESPN Radio.
Mina Kimes, senior writer for ESPN, the magazine. I'm sorry, I'm having trouble with my voice.
That's all right. Get in there.
Mina Kimes will answer your football questions at 786-456-4837. Christian, calling about the Titans. What just happened back there? What just happened, Mina? Did you just snap a pen by mistake?
No, nothing happened. I don't know what you're hearing. Have you not seen Pat Mahomes with his helmet off?
I had seen him with his helmet off. Yeah. So you're now going to tell me hair because he wears stuff in his hair. He wears headbands.
He has very curly, bodacious hair. I just cannot believe you arrived at that conclusion.
A white man can't have curly, bodacious hair?
Not like that.
Okay, very good.
All right.
I'm sorry for not being totally sure based on the name. You tell me. Let's play this sound for Mina Kimes. Mina, you tell me. I don't give you any other information. I just say this person, describe them.
Okay.
I did. I overthrew Tyreek, which I didn't know was possible. So, but he took off and he was gone. If I hit him in stride, it was a 99-yarder.
Oh my God!
Thank you. Thank you.
What?
That's right.
I met Pat Mahomes at the Super Bowl. Well, met very briefly at a Migos concert at 2 a.m. He looks like every race put together. He looks like the future he's small too. But I would not guess he sounded that way.
Okay, so there you go.
If
you've got football questions, 786-456-4837 is the telephone number.
Stop.
He will never stop. Don't stop. Never stop.
Pat Mahomes. Freak. I thought I was supposed to talk about NFL offense coming back.
It has come back. Do you bench Fitzpatrick in any way, shape, or form if Jameis Winston is ready to go game 4?
No, because they got the bye week 5, and then the entire offense is behind him because he's involving them all. But he's streaky. It'll end soon.
Mina, do you believe Dan owes the game of football an apology because he was all upset about the dink and dunk 3-yard pass that was ruining football and the long ball is back?
Thank God for that white Patrick Mahomes character.
Took a million rule changes as well.
Dan owes me an apology. I remember Dan pulling you aside and trying to explain to you why the offensive dip last year was an aberration because of quarterback injuries and context. Do you remember that?
I do remember that, yes. It was a very stern conversation. Felt a bit like something between a lecture and an admonishment.
And here we are. Offense is back. This is more of a continuation of things that have been going on.
But offense is back because they've changed all the rules that the quarterback gets to play a different sport than everyone else.
That's a small part of it. I would argue a bigger part is a continuation of trends in coaching, the trickle up of college offenses. Quarterbacks are being put in a position to succeed. So, and just the fact that these talented players, Mahomes, Watson, Trubisky from the previous draft, are finally coming online now. And the guys aren't injured.
If you want to talk to Mina Kimes, the number to do it at is 786-456-4837. The Steelers and what's going on with them, what do you make of it?
It's been going on for a while. It's one of those things where you can have a toxic locker room and nobody notices if the team is winning. That happened in Seattle, by the way. It's funny to me that people think that the locker room only got toxic recently. Percy Harvin got punched out before the Super Bowl, right? So winning covers up a lot of things, and that was going on. We heard the stuff out of Pittsburgh for a while that these guys didn't like each other, that the three Bs all wanted credit. Now they're losing and, Bell's out, and so suddenly all these things that have been there for a while are kind of bubbling up to the surface.
How is it possible that with the Patriots and Tom Brady and Bill Belichick and now with the Steelers, everybody's bleeping fighting over credit? Like, honest to God.
Because it's zero sum. NFL it's unique, right? In that it's the most zero sum of any sports because of the hard salary cap and because of the way it works. So naturally everybody thinks that they deserve more money and credit, and there's a limited pool to draw from.
Mina, is the Red Rifle back?
He is in the best situation he's been in since 2015. They made a lot of improvements on the offensive line, and with Eifert back and John Ross coming back online, Andy Dalton is like the perfect case study for a quarterback who's entirely dependent on his context.
He is back.
I mean, he was decent in 2015 because that offensive line kept him clean all season, though.
Yes, and they swapped out their center. They finally got rid of Bodine, and they made the improvements there. And he's good when he's surrounded by good players and plays behind a good line. That's just always been Andy Dalton.
But isn't that everybody?
It's most quarterbacks.
Couldn't I put anybody in that position, and that's what I'd get?
I mean, you could say the same about Mahomes, although I think he's transcended that a little bit, but he's in the best situation in football.
The best situation in football?
Yes.
Why?
Pat Mahomes. Because he has the best combination of weapons, offensive line, and then a brilliant coach in Andy Reid. But don't get me wrong, he is talented. He, I think, is one of those 3 or 4 quarterbacks who transcends that, like Aaron Rodgers. But you could not put a quarterback in a better situation to succeed, except for the defense, which is absolute trash.
Well, Goff seems to be in a pretty good situation.
Yeah. Absolutely. Him as well. I mean, I don't think his weapons are as good as Mahomes. The line is good, though, and then McVay, obviously, it makes the game so easy for him. That's the other thing. When we talk about offenses coming back, guys, a lot of it, and I mentioned the trickle-up of college, these are coordinators making the game easier for the quarterbacks. I don't know if you watched Monday Night Football. It was horrible. Mitch Trubisky has not been good at all, but Matt Nagy's been scheming guys wide open for him, and you see that. Pat Mahomes has not thrown into traffic. Right? If you watch these games, again, he is phenomenal and he throws lasers and he's got the arm, but guys are wide open for him, and that's because of the coaching.
Cousins is in a pretty good situation.
He is the best wide receiver duo in football.
Wow.
You like that?
I'm trying to be really definitive.
I'm feeling you. I digs it.
Omar, you're on with Mina Kimes.
Hey, good morning, guys. Hi, I got a 2-part question for Mina. Okay, Seahawks, you think they would go under 500 for the first time since 2011? And the second question for the guys is you're going to outdo the zipline coverage for Super Bowl this coming year?
I don't like that because that means they're going to put me in a more dangerous and terrifying situation. The Seahawks could very well go under 500. What you saw Monday was not really, it's not going to be that bad. The entire team was out. KJ Wright and Bobby Wagner, the 2 linebackers, but this is not a good football team by any stretch of the imagination.
Mitch, you're on it. Hurt her to say that. Hurt her. She's got a tattoo on her bicep.
I'm honest.
Seahawks. I mean, yeah, but
I have integrity.
The window's closed, though. We told you that a couple of games ago, and you weren't honest back then. You were still not honest back then. Mitch, you're on with Mina Kimes. Go ahead, Mitch.
Mina, in terms of the Rams off-season acquisitions, are you a member of the Mile High Club?
What are you doing? Raymond, you're on with Mina Kimes. Go ahead, Raymond.
Hey, top of the morning to you. 312-time caller, first time getting through. My question is, what will happen first? Another Browns tie or a Browns win I'll take your answer off the air and go, Pat, go.
I think the Browns are going to win on Thursday.
Oh, God.
Sorry, Stu, but rookie quarterback on a short week.
What do you make of my rookie quarterback, by the way? You loved him. Mina, you loved him headed into the draft. What have you made of Sam Darnold through 2 weeks?
I still like him. I just went back and watched some of the All-22 from the game because I missed it in real time, and I saw a lot to like there. Look, he is in we talked about quarterback situations. That is a bad situation. When your best weapons are Robbie Anderson and Quincy Enunwa, that's not good, and that line is not great either. I do like Jeremy Bates, but he has, I think, the talent and the decision-making to be a good quarterback in the NFL.
That right there, the last, 30 words or so is the dorkiest you've ever heard Mina Kimes. That is it. We got it. Mike, she was spitting it out so fast with an all-22 thrown in there.
That's all I heard was all-22. How do I get access to that? Password? You got anything for me?
Yeah, you can.
I'll text you.
Yeah, you want to borrow it?
Yes.
Josh, you're on with Mina Kimes. Go ahead, Josh.
Yeah, I want to know if the Dolphins don't make the playoffs, will Ryan Tannehill get cut from the team?
I think they like Tannehill. If there's one team that I have egg on my face on right now, I'll say if you're local, it's the Dolphins. I did not think they were going to be this good. I don't think they're a good team, but I think they're an above average team right now, and I did not see this coming.
You don't think the Dolphins are basically they've got, if you've got an above average quarterback, you got a pretty good shot at being one of those teams that's going to win 8 games, and you're going to get a couple of bounces and win 10 games, or you're not going to get a couple of bounces and you win 6.
Yeah. That's the NFL. They like Tannehill, and I think, the Gase-Tannehill connection that everyone thought was going to happen is sort of reemerged. They like that. They like having the coach and the quarterback working in tandem.
I think people don't know about the Dolphins. I think people don't know about the Bucs. I think people don't know about the Broncos. Mina, name the good teams. You know which teams are good right now in the NFL.
Yeah. I mean, the Rams, the Vikings, the Jaguars. The Chiefs are horribly unbalanced, but that offense is going to keep it going, so I would put them in that group. So New England is a good team, no matter what. The Packers are a good team. It's mostly the teams we thought were going to be good before the season. The Saints, I think, should come back.
We are now doing, for the third time, who's good in the NFL. Who's good? That's something that we're still doing here. Who's good? And you realize that in week 6, most of those teams will have a bunch of injured players, and our list will be totally different. But
Brady will still be healthy.
Now, you understand that the Chiefs are going to lose 3 receivers and their quarterback, and everyone's going to get hurt. And by week 14, we're still going to be doing this, and the list is going to be totally different.
As long as the quarterbacks don't get hurt, which is why, as you mentioned earlier, they're trying to legislate quarterback hits out of the NFL, and we complain about it so much by this. And in the same breath, we complain about the dearth of NFL offense. You can't have it both ways, right? We have to accept this, that you're not allowed to hit the quarterback in the NFL if we want these fun games and, NFL offense.
Mina, thank you. We'll talk to you soon.
Bye, guys.
Dan Batard. Stugotz.
When you have the hammer, you gotta use it.
This is the Dan Le Batard Show with the Stugotz on ESPN Radio.
So now the conversation around the Patriots today is the idea that there's a book coming out and there's a report that Tom Brady would divorce Bill Belichick if he could divorce Bill Belichick. And the Patriots have had this kind of noise around their franchise for a while. I'm not sure which noise coaches hate most when they do this distraction stuff, but I don't think Brady minds this the way that Tomlin minds what's happening over there, where it just looks like he doesn't have any control over anything. And now it feeds into the criticism that Terry Bradshaw has had of him, where he says he's too loose a coach, he doesn't have enough discipline, and now you see where they are. But of all the noise around the Patriots franchise, because people love arguing about this, there is no less interesting noise than what was happening here during the break, where Stugotz was sitting here saying, if I were Brady, I would make this threat and that threat and this threat and that threat. And then Billy and Chris are coming back with dares. They're daring Belichick daring Brady to do this. And it's one of the most ridiculous conversations I've ever heard.
Well, listen, so, for the sake of the conversation, I'm Tom Brady, okay? And what I would do is I would have told Bill Belichick before I traded away Jimmy Garoppolo.
Hold on, you're in character right now.
Yes,
right now, you are a method actor. You're Daniel Day-Lewis, You're Daniel Day-Lewis method acting, and you're going to be Tom Brady right now, okay? You're squeezing your chin together to create a butt chin.
Yep.
Okay, you're squeezing. That's very good. And now you're going to be Tom Brady. And this is the conversation I was listening to during the break. Stugotz as Tom Brady, Billy and Chris as Bill Belichick.
Bill, listen, here's the deal. First off, it's annoying. You act like you don't know what's going on with me and Guerrero over here, and you do. And that's annoying. And secondly, you think you can win more with Jimmy Garoppolo? Here's the deal. Here's what I'm going to do. Don't trade me. I'm going to step away from the game for a year. I'm going to spend the entire year with Dr. Guerrero. When I come back to you, I'll be 42, but I'll look like I'm 22 and play like I'm 18. But you think you're such a great coach? Do me a favor. I'm going to step away, and I dare you to win a Super Bowl with Jimmy Garoppolo. Dare you.
Tom, remember Matt Castle? I double dare you to step away. Double dare you, Tom.
You double dare me to step away? You double dare me.
That's right. Yes, that's what he said.
To step away.
Yes.
I'm going to step away.
What?
I am going to step away. And I am guessing it will take you fewer than 8 weeks to call me to come back and save your season.
Wow.
Okay? So I accept your double dare. I'm going to sit, go win one with Jimmy. Good luck with that.
You want to sit? I triple dare you.
What?
And I bet that you're going to be on this team, back on this team, quicker than Josh McDaniels.
I quadruple dare you.
What?
I quadruple dare you to let me sit first. Don't trade me because you're going to need me. Do not trade me. I quadruple dare you. That is 4 dares.
Yes, we've covered that.
Quadruple dare you to let me sit and let's see what you could do with Jimmy Garoppolo. Because with me, you are always in the greatest coach of all time conversation. Without me, you will be out of that conversation after one season. Quadruple dare.
I quadruple dog dare you.
What?
Oh, my God.
Holy bleep. This,
how do you go to 5 dares?
I don't know how you do
Is
that.
It quintuple? I quintuple dare you. Coach, you know what quintuple means. It's the amount of rings I've won you as a head coach, right? And I get all the credit. You get none of that credit because I'm the quarterback. You're just the guy roaming the sidelines. You don't even look like a coach, by the way, and you're just roaming the sidelines. You always have 3 timeouts. I grant you that. We always have a 5th-round pick to trade to get Josh Gordon to help me be better. But here's the deal, okay? I quintuple dare you to try this with Jimmy Garoppolo. Because you know what? Josh Gordon doesn't want to play with Jimmy Garoppolo. Josh Gordon wants to play with me. He doesn't want to play for you. He wants to play for me. So quintuple dare, and again, a reminder, that is 5, and that's the amount of rings you have on your finger because of me.
It's quintuple dare.
Whatever.
All right, what is, put it on the poll, what is the bigger dare, the quintuple dare or the quadruple double dog dare? Quadruple dog dare.
A dog helps a dare.
I octuple dog dare you. That's it. How about that? That is 8 dares. Otherwise, I talked to Jim Gray. Stugotz here for Indochino. Guys, by now, you should know that made-to-measure suits fit better compared to generic off-the-rack suits. Every man looks better, feels more confident when he puts on a custom-fit suit. Indochino is the world's most exciting made-to-measure menswear company. Here's how it works. I love it. Visit a stylist at our showroom and have them take your measurements personally, or measure at home yourself and shop online at Indochino.com. Choose your fabric inside and out. Choose your design customizations. Submit your measurements with your choices. Then relax while your suit gets professionally tailored and mailed to you in a couple of weeks. And did you know Indochino is expanding into casual clothing and made-to-measure chinos? That's right. Your made-to-measure chinos will quickly become your go-to pant, pairing as easily with a suit jacket as they do with a sweater. And they'll be good any time of year for any occasion, from boardroom meetings to Sunday brunches. Indochinos start at an introductory price of $79. This week, our listeners can get any premium Indochino suit for just $359 at Indochino.com when entering Le Batard at checkout. That's 50% off the regular price for a made-to-measure premium suit. That's a great deal. Plus, shipping is free. It just got better. That's Indochino.com, promo code LeBatard for any premium suit for just $359 and free shipping. Incredible deal for a premium made-to-measure suit.
Message and data rates may apply.
When did it become okay for men to be lazier, softer, fatter? We need to bring the men of this country back to greatness. And it's easier than ever with Ageless Male Max, a patent-pending formula with an ingredient that helps boost your total testosterone, promoting greater increases in muscle size and twice the reduction of body fat percentage than exercise alone. Plus, an amazing 64% increase in nitric oxide, which can be handy in the gym and in the bedroom. Take your manhood to the max by trying your first 30-day bottle free. Just pay shipping and handling. Not 10 days, not 15 days, but a full 30-day supply free when you text the word LIFT to 797979. Finally, a formula that boosts total testosterone. If your results with Ageless Male Max are too intense, please decrease use. For your free bottle, text LIFT to 797979. Text LIFT to 797979.
Don Le Batard.
The one John Fogerty song. Do you call it center field or put me in coach?
When he died, this is the only song I knew that he did. I was sad. I was like, I'll never see him sing it live.
Stugotz.
John Fogerty was just on the show. I don't think he died. Billy just, killed him.
He's alive. That's fine.
He was just on the show 2 weeks ago.
Wait a minute. He was on whose show 2 weeks ago?
This show. With Greg Cody.
It is that.
I'm telling you, this is a Hispanic song.
You feel it,
Guillermo? I have a direct and pointed question for you. Why did you kill John Fogerty?
This is the Don Le Batard Show with the Stugotz on ESPN Radio.
Michael Smith with us.
Y'all stupid, man.
Yes.
Just collectively.
Thank you.
Collectively.
That is correct. What did you make of everything happening around Brady and Belichick? Apparently, there's breaking news here. The Josh Gordon trade is not official. It's not. It is not. What did Belichick just say, Mike?
It is not finalized yet. Bill Belichick says we'll talk about it when it's done, if it's done. Apparently, the holdup is in the language in the draft pick that's getting back. Most people still expect for it to get done, so no need to panic. But it is not yet official. Josh Gordon is technically not a New England Patriot just yet.
Someone came in with a better offer. Did that happen? Is that possible? Can that happen? How does that work in the NFL?
Not like that.
But it's not a Josh Gordon thing. It's nothing where he didn't show or failed a physical or nothing like that.
The holdup, according to several insiders, is that this is a language deal in the particularly in the draft picks that are going back.
Okay.
How are we in a place where this organization, the pillar for winning in sports across sports, is having a feud at the top of its organization that appears to be over credit?
Is it a feud if it doesn't manifest itself in failure? Like, does it really matter that much? With all due respect to Ian O'Connor's book, and we should point out that Seth Wickersham laid this out in ESPN magazine months ago. I would love to work with somebody that I hate that much and be that successful doing it. I would love that. Like, sign me up. If I have that kind of relationship, but I get the equivalent of 5 Super Bowl rings out of it, we don't have to speak. So, I mean,
God, I would hate that. Really would, yeah, because I like communal projects. So I would hate having great success with someone I didn't like very much.
Yeah, but there's great success, and then there's that. That's being the gold standard. Like, I mean, it's, sticking with the relationship theme about divorce, my wife, I'm sure she doesn't like me all the time. I know my 12-year-old, I drive her crazy. But guess what? They ain't going nowhere. I mean, this whole thing is empty. Like, it's like he felt trapped. He would divorce Bill Belichick if he could. Well, you can if you had the nerve to do it, but one without the other is like cornflake without the milk. So, I mean, what are we talking about here? Because you know what? Unlike Antonio Brown on Monday, guess what Tom Brady did? Showed up to work. So you can complain all you want. You can vent to your girlfriends on the phone. He just don't treat me right. He don't appreciate me. He doesn't love me the way he wants to. He doesn't do the things he did when we first got together. Oh, that's nice. But guess what? Who you going home with tonight? You going home with me? You ain't leaving. You ain't leaving. You're not getting any better anywhere else.
Dan, haven't you done that?
Had great success with someone I don't like. Man, the window closed on that joke. That was
talking about your dad.
That was 10 minutes ago, that joke. 10 minutes.
Michael wouldn't stop talking.
I'm sorry.
Wow.
My bad,
Wow.
I thought this is my hour,
Blaming Michael Smith. That's $2. $2.
I'm not blaming him. I was just pointing out a fact.
No, I did go long. I should have cut that a little
What
short.
you were saying was great. I just needed a small window there, and I couldn't get in.
I can take constructive criticism. I don't need you to give me credit in the film session.
You could have let the joke go, Stugotz. You could have, for the first time.
You never let the joke go, Dano.
First time in your life, you could have shown restraint.
And then Bill Belichick, assuming this goes through, he brought him a bouquet of flowers.
You can have milk without cornflakes.
You better put some water on that. You know what I wanted to say. I don't know if y'all delay or y'all bleep button works. I wanted to say you better put some water on that damn.
Listen, this is my last $2. You make me, because the fine system in place is not me doing that to Michael Smith. I mean, it's Yom Kippur, man. I'm hungry. I need some money.
Do I get the money, or does it go somewhere else?
No, it's not to you, but it's Yom Kippur. Did he just blame Yom Kippur and hunger for? You got more money
I owe
there?
$2 more? I'm out of money. Look.
Okay, so that's a $3 IOU. Stugotz owes $3 now. Mike, what's his IOU total up to?
$58.
All
right. So Mike Tomlin is also appearing to be swallowed, if you believe some reports, by people fighting over credit. Mike Tomlin came under criticism with Terry Bradshaw. Terry Bradshaw saying, the loose coach, he prefers a tougher disciplinarian. One of the things that's always there, right? Stugotz, we're always talking about the undercurrent in coach worship, the idea that these black bodies need the help of the white man to give them discipline and strength in order to conquer.
He's one of them.
Gladiator
He's too
fields.
close to them.
But what about Mike Tomlin? This is a true story. We've told it before. Mike Tomlin was not hired as the Dolphins coach because the COO at the time thought he was too hip hop. And Mike Tomlin is not hip hop.
Right.
Mike Tomlin is closer to the military than he is to hip hop. But what do you make of the idea now? Because this is a rough situation. When you got Le'Veon Bell and Antonio Brown and Ben Roethlisberger and Mike Tomlin, I feel like 3 of those 4 are going to get the criticism, and it's not going to be Ben.
Fair enough.
And I think that Mike Tomlin is going to get swallowed under the fact that, or the appearance that, specifically a black coach is not disciplining a team that appears undisciplined.
And that's not a new narrative. Go ahead, Stugotz.
No, but I would say, and obviously I see where you guys are headed here, but with Le'Veon Bell, you have a guy who is sitting out, who is missing games, who's not at his best the first couple of games because he sat out. So you have a guy not doing the team thing, and then you have Antonio Brown getting upset, visually upset on the sidelines, yelling at people last week in the game. And then, responding to people on Twitter saying, hey, go ahead, trade me. Like, get me out of here. You have 2 guys who aren't acting like, quote unquote, team guys. Now, I don't know what the reaction would be to Ben if he was saying and doing some of those same things. Well, but he's not.
Well, he's had his moments, and he's gotten criticized for it. He's had his moments. Now, his play is not being criticized right now. Is being, forgotten amidst all the other controversies. But I would just say, like, specifically to the 0-1-1 Steelers. I'll come back. I'll try to do this efficiently, Stugotz. I'll come back to
there's no joke.
The general undercurrent of when it comes to Tomlin and black coaches. I'll come back to that in a second. But specifically to this current iteration of the Pittsburgh Steelers, let's go one by one. This is where I remind everybody it's a professional football. Okay, Antonio Brown's 30 years old. He has a contract. Until Odell Beckham signed, I believe it was the best contract for wide receivers. He's en route to the Hall of Fame. It is not Mike Tomlin's responsibility to take his phone from him or delete his Twitter app. And it certainly isn't Mike Tomlin's responsibility to get somebody whose football character is often lauded by his peers to show up for work on Monday. If Mike Tomlin wanted to coach a high school or a college team, he could. I'm sure he can get any high school or college job he wants. He coaches in professional football, which means bring you behind the work on Monday. That's number one. Le'Veon Bell, on the other hand, does not have a contract. Last I checked, Mike Tomlin does not negotiate contracts. So it is not on Mike Tomlin that Le'Veon Bell is on jet skis down here on South Beach. So that's that. In terms of the overall conversation about Mike Tomlin, yeah, it often does feel like the term players coach is used as a compliment. Well, in general, it's great when you're winning. This goes without saying. This is Captain Obvious here. It's great when you're winning. It's grounds for firing when you're losing. And then the team goes and hires opposite Joe. Now we got to get somebody in to quote unquote change the culture. But in conversations about coaches, it often feels like it's used as an insult or criticism more often than not for black coaches, and a compliment and a place to praise when it comes to white coaches.
Did you say you'd be quick on that? Or?
All I want to do is a zoom, zoom,
Segment's
zoom,
over.
and a boom, boom.
That was really good.
So good.
That was no. That was Stugotz.
Great.
I asked for that.
Your best
I asked
work.
for that.
Yeah.
I asked for that.
Yeah.
I had that coming.
It was good. No, it was good.
Maybe if that damn SportsCenter read wasn't so slow, we'd have some time on the back end.
I mean,
like you read the whole newspaper on. What were you talking about the church function? You read the whole
Mike
newspaper.
played something long, the Mahomes thing at the beginning, and listen, well, Michael's blaming me.
We had
and the
we did have the extended mix. Hustle and Flow back there was working on the drum machine.
So if you're part of the show, you're part of the show. That's $2 for blaming me, $2 for blaming the lawn music. You owe $116. Just put it on the console there.
Dan Le Batard.
Texter writes in, been listening to you guys from the beginning and just saw you on TV for the first time. Wow, Dan looks like he has a bag of nickels in his cheeks, and Stugotz looks really unhealthy.
Stugotz.
That sounds about right.
Yeah, it's because I am.
Yeah, and it's because I do.
This is the Dan Le Batard Show with the Stugotz on ESPN Radio.
Michael Smith is in town here in Miami to do Highly Questionable. You could catch him 4:30 Eastern all week on ESPN. One of the stories being discussed on ESPN today is these Hall of Famers, led by Eric Dickerson, the most vocal of the voices on it, even as a couple of other guys back away. Kurt Warner is now saying, yeah, I wasn't asking for salary and health benefits. But the story is some Hall of Famers have gotten together and said basically, in the coldest business terms possible, our health is more valuable than everyone else's who played this sport. Pay us because we were Hall of Famers. Pay our health care. What do you do with that information?
Yeah, that was awfully elitist. And first of all, it would help to have your ducks in a row. Who's actually in and out on this thing? Because it's not a good look to have to have both Kurt Warner and I believe Jerry Rice say, I didn't sign up for that. I'll see you at the anniversary in 2020. B, have to clean up the fact that, in which everybody pointed out, wait a second, you want Hall of Famers to get benefits? What about the other players who don't have access to appearance income and who didn't make it big in the NFL who are suffering just as much? So, we'll get to them. I want to take care of us first. So you use our power and then get them on the back end. My thing is this, two things. One, when the former players show up, it's to welcome a new teammate to that exclusive club. So you're basically spurning them and shortchanging them on their specialty, on their day in the sun. You're casting a shadow over it by boycotting that ceremony. How would any of those guys have felt if former players would say, hey, I'm not going to show up and be there when he gets his gold jacket and his bust? So there's that. Now, I'm all for the cause, but it's right church, wrong pew. And bottom line, look, with all due respect to these guys and what they did to make the game what it is, ironically, it's going to be just like when they play next man up. Because all the NFL will do is put the chairs closer together, tighten the shots from the cameras, and the show will go on. So whether they show up or not, they'll still have some form of a ceremony, some form of a telecast, even if it's in a studio somewhere, where these guys will get their recognition and go into the Hall of Fame. So I don't think it's going to be as effective as they think it will be.
Because no one cares who's sitting behind the guys getting into the Hall of Fame. I agree with you.
How many people recognize him?
Eric Dickerson doesn't have the current players have real leverage.
Correct.
Eric Dickerson does not have any leverage.
And that's always the case. It's up to the current players to take care of the former players, given that they will soon be former players sooner than they realize. But how many people are watching? I mean, if anything, again, I'm not trying to make light of these guys and like that, but if anything, you're looking to see who's paying attention or who's zoning out on the 20-minute speeches. So how many casual fans or even hardcore fans in today's generation recognize the Hall of Famers who built the game sitting behind the guys going in?
It's such an interesting ask, though, because just like football, if you read these reports, football, like basketball, is saying, gambling, here's an extra $1 billion of revenue that has nothing to do with our business, that's just going to spring like an oil well from the sky. And these Hall of Famers have looked at this and said, well, what's $4 million?
Right.
What I think the total of this. Now, Eric Dickerson's math was weird because I think I read $300,000 a year in salary, and I thought I read that it was $4 million total, which is what it would cost
for health insurance
to give. Was that just for the health insurance?
Which still seemed cheap for me, but
if
I think that was for health insurance.
If that is these guys looking at our sport has a health crisis, can I get some of the George Foreman grease fat money that is going to be off on the side by making this a public stink, and they'll just give us $4 million because it's the right thing to do to give Hall of Famers health care.
And you're looking at a commissioner making $40 million.
Right, but to Michael's point, man, you have to look out for all the players. Hall of Famers still have earning potential. They have earning power. They can go sit in a strip mall in Vegas like Jerry Rice does and sign for a couple of $100,000. It's the guy who played for a year, who played for 8 games, who has no money and has no earning power
the
right
guys
now.
that they thank during those speeches.
You got to fight for everyone, man.
Are you guys sure, though, that they have no leverage? Are you sure? Because I heard an awful lot of people telling me how T.O. was ruining the Hall of Fame ceremony by not going, and that was the wrong story to have that week.
But he
and
was
the Hall of Fame saying we're not even going to mention his name.
But he was going into the Hall of Fame. He was one of the guys being inducted into the Hall of Fame. I don't care who's sitting behind him while he makes the speech.
I got that, but I'm saying if Jim Brown is all of a sudden face, voice, limping guy for your league, if he's using a cane, he's a strong and powerful voice. If he is with a group of players saying every year Hall of Fame comes around, and I'm going to remind everybody, they do at press conferences at the Super Bowl where Mike Ditka is in a room and he's telling you about how players need health care. Right. Every year we're going to go out there and we're going to make a stink for you. You don't think that's any leverage?
Are they all going to do it? We already, again, Jerry Rice is like, no, I'm not in on this. Kurt Warner, I don't think that's the way to go.
How many do you need?
It's next man up. It's always next man up in that sport, whether they strike or not.
How many do you need for it to have some impact at all, to feel like public pressure that actually gets money? Not that the NFL gets strong-armed on these things very much.
I think you need most of them to not show, to cause some kind of demonstration, maybe to get up and walk out. You need for it to be uncomfortable enough to where the league can't prepare for it in advance, if you will, because they can put on a Hall of Fame ceremony with or without the players behind them. It wouldn't be ideal, but they can. Listen, this is not me saying that the players don't have a point. Don't misunderstand me. Like, they deserve more than what they're getting. It's got to be frustrating to look at a commissioner who never took a hit make more money than all of you guys collectively made, and certainly watch the players today who don't have to play the same game.
Tough,
you know what I mean? Make more money than you ever did. I get that.
Paying Roger Goodell 10 times what you're talking about health benefits for all of those players, that's not a great
Well, think about the stories of suffering that we don't hear. Like, even we might hear anecdotes here and there, but these people, these are their lives every day. I mean, they knew what they signed up for the most part. Some of them didn't know what they were signing up for. We're a lot more enlightened when it comes to head trauma and that sort of thing. I'm just saying, I don't know that it would be as effective as the current players taking some kind of action on behalf, taking additional action, because let's be fair, with every CBA, there have been improved benefits for former players. Maybe not enough to their liking, but they're improving benefits with every renegotiation of the collective bargaining agreement. They have more leverage, Stugotz, as you were saying, to do more for former players than former players do at this point. You just pointed out, it's not a new conversation about the fact that these former players need better benefits and health care.
Michael Smith argues with Domonique Foxworth next.
Don Le Batard.
Our thanks to Domonique Foxworth for sitting in with us. He has sucked at the reads today, but he don't think so. And even if he does think so, he doesn't think he's going to suck at the next one.
Stugotz.
Fox and socks. Socks box knocks. Knocks and box. Fox and socks. Knocks on Fox and socks and box. Socks on knocks and knocks in box. Fox on socks on box on knocks. Take that, Dr. Seuss.
This is the Don Le Batard Show with the Stugotz on ESPN Radio.
Didn't Sesame Street send out a statement that Ernie and Bert are genderless? Isn't that a thing that happened yesterday?
I think so, yeah. The creator was like, they were a same-sex couple. The Sesame Street like, no, they're just friends. I guess that's where we are, right?
Is it?
Who
Is it?
cares,
because
man?
that's not where I want to be.
The writer claimed that, and Sesame Street is disputing that claim by the writer. That's where we're at.
Okay, that's where we're at.
Just rubber ducky, man. You're the one. You make bad time lots of fun. That's all I want to talk about.
So during the rejoin, Stugotz heard that voice of Domonique Foxworth, and he said, I miss that voice. I miss that voice.
Man.
It's coming back into your life now. But before we get to Domonique Foxworth, Michael, can you give people in 20 seconds your thoughts again on what happened with Vontae Davis, which isn't something many of us have ever seen, where he just sort of retired at halftime?
My thoughts now are I feel badly for him because he put way too much work into getting where he was to leave the game under these circumstances. Now, he's entitled to make his own decision, of course. And guys know when they know. I just find it hard to believe. They know when they're done. I just find it hard to believe that he didn't know this before he was a starter. He didn't know this during the week, or he didn't know this the day before. And if he did just have that epiphany in the first half, it feels like for the sake of his teammates that he could have, and I'm saying this is somebody who obviously didn't play beyond high school, that he could have said, hey, I don't have it today, benched himself, and made the career decision afterward.
Domonique, what are your thoughts there as someone who knows that the game hurts and wrote something different in the Undefeated?
Yeah, I mean, I understand where Michael's coming from, and honestly, my immediate reaction was like, what the hell? Because it's crazy, it's unprecedented, and most people's reaction is that I just don't have that reaction after giving it some more thought. Like, the thing about being there for your players, for your teammates, I understand that, and we all live that. And Vontae is someone who's done that over the course of his career, getting toradol shots and playing through injuries. Like, he's not a young guy. He's played for 10 years, so he understands the gladiator mentality of football. And I know Vontae. I played with his brother. I've known Vontae since he was a skinny high school kid. So I know what kind of person he is, and I think that there's something to be said for when you know, which is what you said. Football's not a game that you can go out there if you aren't ready. The stuff about being there for your teammates is something that we all preach and we all understand, and I'm not surprised. I told you that was my immediate reaction. But, I mean, people get hurt. People leave the game. People don't prepare properly. People fake injuries. These are things that happen in the National Football League. So there are many different ways for guys to not be there for their teammates. And the way that he chose to do it, I frankly don't have a problem with it. And I get bombarded on social media with people saying, you would never do that in the Army. It's not the Army. It just
Right.
falls into all this crazy.
Oh, no, but it is the same mentality, Domonique. It's not the Army, but those guys, if I go into that locker room and I start asking guys, they say the guy who's not in the foxhole with me, it's the greatest crime you could commit, not being there for Domonique Foxworth on Sunday.
I mean, I want to say brainwashing, but I feel like that's harsh. But it's an indoctrination to a culture and a way of thinking that is not healthy outside of that locker room. And you can argue that it's not healthy for the people inside that locker room. When you get out of that world, you get far enough removed from that world, you realize, you look back, which I have, look back and say, that was crazy. just crazy. And I find that this morning, I actually talked to Vontae this morning. I'm writing something now for the Undefeated. I'm trying to finish it up and get it up today about what actually happened that day for him. And I can give you a little sneak peek. It's like he didn't know. It's not something that he understood. He went through his morning as everything was usual, and then he got on the field and he felt like he didn't belong. I'm not familiar. I understand it was gradual for me when I was like, after I tore my ACL and I came back on the sideline and was watching them play football, and I was like, that looks like that hurts. I'm kind of not trying.
You got scared, didn't you, Domonique? Didn't you tell us you stood on this NFL sideline after playing, and you got actually scared? Like, what the hell are they doing out there?
I did. I was like, that looks like it hurts. What is going on? What are they doing? And I continued to try to play, but it didn't work for me, and it was a gradual process. And like I mentioned, as I've gotten away from the game, the further I've gotten away from the game, the more I look back on it and realize that it's not normal. So for him, it wasn't gradual. It happened in the course of a day. It happened. And if it would have happened to me that quickly, I would have done the same thing. It didn't happen to me that quickly. So I don't know. I understand the culture that we're in, and we all get paid to have these split-second reactions and decisions. And if there was a microphone in front of me as soon as I got the news, I think I'd have been closer to Michael's position. But I have had some time, and I think it's funny because we're all in this kind of sports echo chamber. I wonder if we went outside the world of sports and talked to other people who don't like or care about sports, what they would think. And the real funny thing is people talking about how they assume that something's wrong with him mentally. Like, aren't the crazy people the 100 or so other people who went back out on the field to play football? The sane one is the one who was like, you know what? I'm not going to slam my head into another person.
That's a great point. How many people, because their lives don't play out publicly, they're not on TV, right? They go out for lunch and they decide, hey, I've had it here. I've had it at the accounting firm. I ain't coming back. And we don't say a word about it. And by the way, Domonique, this is what happened. Buffalo will break them in. I am telling you. That is
this
it,
was
Domonique.
Josh Allen, Nathan Peterman.
Yeah, Buffalo. No, just the city of Buffalo will break them in.
Wow, the city.
City. Oh, that was cold. No, Domonique, I feel you on everything you're saying. I really enjoyed your initial piece. Vontae Davis knew what he was doing on the Undefeated, so I look forward to hearing your interview or reading your interview with Vontae Davis. I was not even trying to. I was oversimplifying it because obviously having covered the game closely, I could not imagine the type of mental, physical, and emotional trauma that it takes just to suit up and go out there, let alone do it for 10 years like he did. I was just looking at it. You mentioned talking to the average person who's not into sports. I was strictly looking at it from a professionalism standpoint. Like whether you're playing, I know it's not the same thing, but whether you're playing football or you're working in an office building, you're depending on the person next to you to do his or her job, so you can do yours. More so in football, it is so interdependent on the next man doing his job so you can do yours. My only question to you is this. Given all the players that have ever played football, the word unprecedented, I think we all agree on it. We see players leave training camp and retire all the time, every summer. It happens at every training camp. Why hasn't something like this happened far more often than Vontae Davis? Why doesn't this happen all the time? I'm sure he's not the first guy to have this thought in the middle of a game.
Yeah, so, I mean, I agree that it's unprofessional, but I mean, that's not a crime. A lot of people do unprofessional things all the time, and I would say that my guess is, you're probably right. Other people have had this experience. My guess is that they fake it in order to continue to get checks.
I'm sorry, guys, I'm sorry. I just got an update here from ESPN executives contractually obligated. You guys have agreed too much. Get out of here. You've agreed too much.
We like each other too much.
We don't want.
We like each other
you know
too
what?
much.
This didn't work. This segment did not work.
I should have told you I covered Dominique when he played. I know this guy. That's my guy.
Both of you get out of here.
We went to stands in D.C. a couple of weeks ago.
You need to do something like this. Dominique, if they're 1-0 up 26-0 at halftime, does he quit? The answer is no. He's a quitter.
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't get the show. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Circle around us to make us fight. We won't do it.
All right. Well, Stugotz, please keep doing this. Please, Stugotz, teach Michael Smith the way that this is done.
This is why Vontae Davis is an absolute quitter, okay? Because I'm telling you right now, if they're 1-0 and if they're up 26-0 at halftime and on the verge of going 2-0, Vontae Davis still loves football. Vontae Davis does not retire from football. Therefore, quitter.
Nope, not biting.
Hey,
you lose, Dominique. Loser.
That's fine. I'm going to quit. I'm going to quit midway through this.
Raindrop, drop top. Time to read the script for a hot spot.
You should have. It would have been better. You'd quit in the middle of the segment. You agreed way too much. Tell him, Stugotz.
Don Le Batard.
7 o'clock on the dot. I'm in my drop top, cruising the streets. Oh, yeah. I've got a real pretty little thing that's waiting for me.
Oh, it was great. Stugotz.
I pull up, anticipating good love. Don't keep me waiting. I got plans to put my hands in places I've never seen, girl, you know what I mean.
This is the Don Le Batard Show with the Stugotz on ESPN Radio.
Michael Smith, Given the Straight Talk, is brought to you by Straight Talk Wireless. Best phones, best networks, no contracts.
He has not given the talk that is straight enough, so Michael Smith, we thank you for your time. Go to the penalty box, 5-minute major for not fighting. For not fighting with Domonique Foxworth.
Hell, I'm in pain anyway. I didn't feel like playing.
Yeah, but we were promised a fight, man.
I was promised an argument by me. I promised it.
So because you oversold and I underdelivered.
That's right.
I go to the penalty box.
5-minute major for not fighting.
All right, I'll see you at 4:30 on ESPN for Highly Questionable.
It would appear now that the Josh Gordon trade has been finalized because Josh Gordon has just showed up at practice and he's not wearing number 12 because that's taken in.
Yeah, somebody's.
Yeah, he's wearing number 10.
Which part of 5-minute major?
I'm sorry. I was just gonna say that, Mike. I'm sure you're disappointed that you didn't get your 5th round pick back. All right, see you later.
All right. Well, that's. Should he get extra penalties for that?
Yeah, he probably should. Yeah.
Something?
Yeah. Throw some money in there or something. Well, fine.
At Le Batard Show on Twitter is how you update the polls, Stugotz. What do you have here at Le Batard Show today?
I think Belichick was just waiting around to see if this Antonio Brown thing was real. And now he's realized it's not for real, so he's going to stay with Josh Gordon, which is crazy. Can you imagine they got Antonio Brown? They can if he becomes available because they still have 5 5th-round picks in this year's draft.
They're going to get Julio Jones
and Le'Veon Bell
in a couple of weeks.
Yeah. Anyway, the Twitter poll at Le Batard Show is brought to you by JCPenney. Dress the part without spending a ton. Save 50% on select suits at the JCPenney men's wardrobe sale. JCPenney, style and value for all. Do the Jets play the Browns week 3 every season? 88% of the audience said yes. I told you guys.
Well, that's the level of prep that Stugotz brought to the show today. He said that the Jets and Browns play every season week 3 except for last season when it was week 5 and the season before that when it's week 1, and that's when we stopped looking.
Mm-hmm. Is Chip Kelly still a thing? 88% of the audience said no. Not a thing. Are ties communist? How is this not 100%? 73% of the audience said yes.
Because 27% of the people are communists.
Late November, turkey. That it? 82% of the audience said yes. Told you. Is Mike Zimmer's face a frozen tundra? 94% of the audience said yes.
Mike, can you play that sound again of Mike Zimmer showing you that even though he is someone who will never say anything controversial publicly, he has no problem whatsoever treating a kicker as something less than human?
You really viked that sound.
What went into the decision today to let Daniel Carlson go?
Did you see the game?
Okay. Was it an easy decision?
Yeah, pretty easy.
Needs to Zimmer down. Anyway, what is the bigger dare?
You've been launching some real stinkers this segment.
Quintuple dare or quadruple dog dare? Oh, speaking of dogs, hot dog would be so good right now. I'm so hungry. Fasting, Yom Kippur. Every word I read turns into food somehow.
You know what? Get out of here.
What?
Just get out of here. 2 minutes. Go sit with Michael Smith. Just get out of here.
All right.
Like he's been complaining for 5 segments. He just said to Michael Smith, I'm not kidding you about this. He was arguing sports with Michael Smith, and he said, let's talk about it later over a Cliff Bar, because he's just thinking about the fact that he's starving. It's the only Jewish thing that he does. I don't understand why he only follows this portion of the religion. Don't eat today is the only way in which Stugotz is a good Jew.
While breaking the rules by coming to work.
That's correct. That is correct. It doesn't make any sense. He just